This lesson walks through some of the economic challenges as well as a few of the opportunities that the United States had in place after the conclusion of the American Revolution. There were many challenges faced by the new United States at the conclusion of this conflict, caused by the fact that the colonists had been successful in ending their many years of British rule. In the 1790s, the young republic would continue to struggle with challenges as far as building a stable political system. In the year 1790, it was not entirely clear that the new United States would even survive. George Washington, in fact, was convinced that the newly installed government wouldn't make it any farther than 2 decades. Exploring some of the economic challenges faced by this new country is important for understanding the broader difficulties of establishing a government in the wake of a revolution or after a major political disruption. This is important to learn about because the new nation, although they were celebrating victory in the American Revolution, they were plagued by a range of problems, such as issues with foreign policy, political structure, and their economy. One of the greatest challenges in the aftermath of the American Revolution was consolidating public support for the new government. In fact, only about 5% of adult white males supported ratifying the new Constitution. At the same time, Rhode Island and North Carolina were in favor of supporting the Articles of Confederation, whereas representatives from Vermont shared the perspective that they preferred to secede from the new United States and to join Canada instead. One of the biggest economic challenges facing the new United States was they had a lot of debt held over from the Revolutionary War. Currency that had been issued during the conflict was basically useless. The new United States also wasn't recognized by every country around the world. They struggled with how to deal with British forces that were still present in some areas of the Old West, and countries like Spain declined to recognize the western and southern boundaries of the new United States. Some of the challenges in terms of the economy were addressed or attempted to be addressed in the Constitution. The U.S. Constitution provided for a general government framework that would later lay the groundwork for a president and a first Congress to facilitate the necessary details. Looking back in history, it's impressive to realize that this new government was basically made up of a large debt, 75 post offices, and an army of less than 750 soldiers. At this time, there was no navy, no system in place for collecting taxes, or a federal court system that carried out cases and had a system in place for those accused of crimes to be protected. Led by James Madison, the new House of Representatives determined that they could raise revenue in the short term by passing a tariff on imports, as well as a tax on liquor. To promote the American shipping industry, the House of Representatives reported plans to impose duties on foreign vessels. To help support the structure of the new United States, the House of Representatives also decided that it was necessary to add new government departments that were charged with carrying out the various aspects of public administration, such as the Departments of War, the Departments of Treasury, and the Departments of State. Even though Americans could now trade directly with foreign powers, there was much debate over how this should be done. Post-war economic problems were really detrimental to America's relationship with her new ally, and that was France. The French wanted to be repaid for their war debts, what they had invested to help fight the war and help the colonists achieve success. But they also wanted to limit American trading opportunities with some of the busiest ports inside France. If the American government had been stronger at the time, the central unit of government could have responded to some of these challenges, but the French were really able to take advantage of the fact that the United States had a fledgling government and economy at this time. The economic challenges of the new country were not only felt by government leaders, but also by citizens. Farmers especially were dealing with high levels of debt. Many state legislatures made the decision to extend repayment terms for these farmers. Those who were supposed to be paid what they were due, however, were really upset at the number of favorable debtor laws that were passed by the new democracy. It was clear that economic challenges would continue to plague the new United States for years to come. So as you can see, there were just a range of real problems that were faced by the new government, sort of adjusting to this new structure, ensuring that they had a government of strong enough opportunities to carry out what they were tasked with doing, but also not too strong so that it would inhibit individual rights and powers. They weren't necessarily recognized by every country around the world with regard to the full geographical boundaries. Countries like France were able to take advantage of the fact that they could limit trading opportunities with this new country, and the debt hanging over the United States at this time just generated a lot of conversations and disagreement about how it should be managed effectively, especially with regard to raising revenue.